Hello, James. Do you know who is Hitler? That's right, the infamous dictator Adolf Hitler, the one who initiated World War II, the dictator who was directly involved in the deaths of 6 million Jews. It all started on April 20, 1889, when little Hitler was born. Look how cute he was. Whoever knew he would grow up to become the tyrant he is known for. He was the first of 6 children born to Alois and his third wife Clara. By the time Hitler was born, his older siblings had already passed on due to various reasons. He was the first of his siblings to survive childhood. Hitler was born as a sickly child, but was lucky to be showered with love by his mother, hence saving him from the same fate as his siblings. When Hitler was 3, his family moved to Passau, Germany, where he acquired the distinctive Lower Bavarian dialect, which became his first language throughout his life. Like many young Austrian Germans, Hitler developed German nationalist ideas from a young age and had a fierce loyalty to Germany. They sang the German national anthem instead of the Austrian imperial anthem. Hitler and his friends used the greeting Heil, which would become the infamous Nazi greeting used to show obedience. In the 1900s, his family left him one by one. First went his younger brother, then his father, and finally his mother. Their death devastated him, and Hitler wrote years later that his mother's death was a dreadful blow. He felt he had no purpose, and life became meaningless. At the mere age of 18, Hitler was thrown into the adult world with nothing to his name, after squandering the generous inheritance left to him. In his biography, he wrote how much he wanted to become a professional artist, but was rejected twice by the Academy of Fine Arts, Vienna, first in 1907, then in 1908. His works contain few humans and mainly comprises of buildings and sceneries. The institute felt that he had more talent in architecture than in painting. However, learning architecture meant that Hitler had to return to his old school, which he refused. After becoming penniless, Hitler led a vagrant life without a place he can call home. He tinted postcards and painted houses for a living. He painted his first self-portrait in 1910 at the age of 21. When he was 23, he moved to Munich, Germany to receive his father's estate. As he was the age for conscription, the Bavarian police sent Hitler back to Austria, but was deemed unfit for the Austrian army. When World War I broke out, Hitler wanted to do his part and voluntarily enlisted in the Bavarian army. But because of his Austrian citizenship, he had to request for permission to serve in the Bavarian army. Permission was granted, and Hitler served throughout the war and was continuously on the front line as a headquarters runner. During the war, Hitler even adopted a stray dog, who became his closest companion. He spent much of his free time playing with the dog in the barracks until he lost it in 1917. This will become the first of his many dogs. His bravery in war awarded him an Iron Cross Second Class and an Iron Cross First Class, rare awards for his rank, Lance Corporal. It was during World War I that he found his purpose in life. No longer was he living without a purpose. He found military life to be satisfying and cemented his belief in the heroic virtues of war. He described the war as the greatest of all experiences, and his time in the war further reinforced his German patriotism. In 1918, while hospitalized due to an injury from a master attack, he learned of Germany's defeat. His bitterness over Germany's defeat began to shape his ideology. Like other German nationalists, Hitler believed in the myth that Germany was backstabbed by civilian leaders, Jews, Marxists, and those who signed the armistice that ended the fighting. He was also outraged by the Treaty of Versailles, which Germany had to accept responsibility for starting the war, even relinquished several of its territory, and had to suffer economic sanctions and heavy reparations. Like him, many Germans saw it as an unjust humiliation. Hitler later wrote, "When I was confined to bed, the idea came to me that I would liberate Germany, that I would make it great. I knew immediately that it would be realized." Following Germany's defeat, Hitler joined the German Workers' Party as an army political agent after an invitation by its founder, Anton Drexler. In 1920, he was in charge of the party's propaganda. He engaged in unrelenting propaganda through newspapers and meetings. His audience grew from a handful to thousands of people. He subsequently left the army to devote himself in improving his position within the party, which was renamed Nazi in the same year. When Hitler first joined the party, he found it to be ineffective, uncertain of its aims, and divided in leadership. Hitler's propaganda and ambition resulted in friction with other leaders of the party who attempted to curb him, but was ineffective, as the party depended on him to organize publicity and acquire funds. He used strong armed squads to protect party meetings, attack his opponents, and incite terror in others. The squads were subsequently turned into his own army. On 7 August 1920, this flag became the official symbol of the Nazi Party. He described the flag: "In red, we see the social idea of the movement. In white, the nationalistic idea. In the swastika, the mission of the struggle for the victory of the Aryan man." In July 1921, he became the party's top leader with almost unlimited power. With his charismatic personality and dynamic leadership, he attracted a devoted following of Nazi leaders. According to Hitler, the natural unit of mankind was the Volk, of which the Germans were the greatest. He believed that the state existed to serve the Volk, a mission that to him the Weimar Republic betrayed. All things were judged by this criterion, whether it was in accordance with the interest and preservation of the Volk. In 1923, Hitler attempted to seize power and overthrow the Weimar Republic, the government of Germany, in what was known as the Beerhoff Putsch. The Putsch brought Hitler to the attention of the German nation for the first time, and generated headlines in newspapers around the world. In the minute that resulted, Hitler was injured and fled. He was later arrested for high treason and sentenced to 5 years in prison, of which he served just 9 months in the comfort of Landsberg Castle, where he received friendly treatment from the guards. During his time in Landsberg Castle, he realized that the party can only achieve power by legal means. He proceeded to dictate the first volume of Mein Kampf, his political autobiography. The book laid out Hitler's plan for transforming German society into one based on race. Throughout the book, Jews are equated with germs and presented as the international poisoners of society, and the only solution was their extermination. It was said that during his time in prison, the Bavarian government wanted Hitler to serve his sentence in Austria. However, the request was rejected, as Austria did not treat Hitler as one of their citizens, since he served in the Bavarian army. In 1925, Hitler denounced his Austrian citizenship and later gained his German citizenship. After his release, Hitler faced some challenges. The Republic seemed more respectable. Economic stability was achieved. There were fewer opportunities for agitation. Hitler was also forbidden to make speeches. Nevertheless, the party slowly grew in numbers. October 1929, the stock market crashed in the United States. This will be known as the Great Depression. What was the impact of the Great Depression on Germany, and how did Hitler use the situation to his advantage? Watch part 2 to find out more.